Let's assume that we want to solve these two questions. And the first question says if a b raised power c is constant and the variables are a and c. So that means that your a and c are the ones that are representing your x and y. So what are you going to do? You bring it out. Okay, let's say I want to do solution to this. So we bring it out. You have a b raised power c is constant. Now you can just write it, since this is a constant. You can say ab raised power c is k. Then you introduce logarithm. You have log a b raised power c equal to log k. Then you are going to have log a plus log b raised power c equal to log k. And you're going to have it at log a plus c log b equal to log k. If you take it to the other side, you're going to have log a equal to minus c log b plus log k. So compare these two. Y equal to mx plus c. Now don't forget that the variables are a and c, so automatically you are plotting graph of log a as your y against c, which will be your x. Then your slope will be log b and your intercept will be log k. Now we have a value for the slope, which is 1. So we're going to say 1 equal to log b. Then b is going to be what? 10 raised to power 1. Since this is base 10, you do this raised power this, that will give you the number that is here. So b is equal to 10. So that's the solution to the first question. It's also possible that instead of giving you values, they just give you something like this. Then they ask you, how can we get the value of c? How can we get the value of c? So look at what you did now. We linearize the equation. Sorry, how can we find the value of b? So in order to find the value, how can we find it? Now you see that when we linearize the equation, then b was standing as what? As the slope. The logarithm of b is actually the slope. So that's what you tell them, that plot a graph of what? Log a against c, and the slope is going to be what? Log b. Oh, I've made a mistake. Now there is a minus sign here, so I have to include that minus log b minus log b. So this is going to be 10 raised to power minus 1. So, and 10 raised to power minus 1 is 0.1. That's going to be our final answer for the first part of the question. Now for the second part, for the second one, we have p to be a squared plus b squared, p to be a squared plus b squared over 2r squared, right? So the question is to find a and b. Find a and b. Okay, we still have something. Plus a squared plus a squared. Now what are we going to do? Since the question is to find a and b, it means that a and b are constants. So any equation that you are given at all, when you're asked to find something, like you're asked to just find something in that equation, those things that you are looking for are actually going to be constants. You can't be asked to find a variable just giving you the equation. Although it's possible for them to ask you to find variable, but they will give you value of one of the variables. They will not ask you to find the value of the other one. Not that they will just ask you to find the value of the variable directly. So in almost all cases, whenever they ask you to find value of two things, those two things are usually the constants. So that means that our variables here are going to be P and R. Since they didn't mention anything about P and R, they only asked us to find A and B. So this is what we are going to write this as P equal to A squared plus B squared over 2. Don't forget that this is a constant, right? Then there is a variable beside it. What's the variable? R raised power minus 2, then plus A squared. You see that this is equation of a straight line. This is what? Only variable. This is variable and constant. This is what? Only variable. So that means you are plotting graph of what? P against R square inverse. You are plotting graph of P against R squared inverse. That's the graph we are going to plot. And the intercept is going to be what? A squared. So that means that the slope is A squared plus B squared over 2. The intercept is A squared. Now don't forget that we have values for them. The value of the slope is 12.5. The value of C is 9. Now, so that means we come here, we say 9 equal to A squared. And A will be 3. Although it's plus or minus 3, but you can just pick the positive part of it. Then the slope is what? 12.5. 12.5 equal to A squared. A squared is 9 plus B squared over 2. So what will happen? Cross multiply, you get 25 equal to 9 plus B squared. We get B to be what? 25 minus 9 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. So that means that A is 3 and B is 4. So that means that we can write this equation as P equal to A squared plus B squared. That will be 25 over 2 times 1 over R squared, then plus 9. So the equation is going to be 12.5 over R squared plus 9. So that's going to be our final answer.